What's milking, Mama? Welcome back to Momversations. Today, I am honored to have a conversation with someone who has been a pivotal part of my life, my best friend for years. If you know, you know. We shared laughs, tears, and a countless amount of memories from our high school adventures to the profound journey of motherhood. She's not just a friend, but she's the godmother of my first baby. She was by my side during some of the most significant moments of my motherhood journey. Our journey has not been without challenges. She became a mother at an early age while we were in high school, facing the looks and criticism from others with incredible strength and resilience. Through it all, she's shown me what it means to be a devoted mom and what it means to overcome so much in your life. Today, we come together to reflect on our experiences, embrace our growth, and share our stories. Our friendship is a testament to the power of love and resilience, and we hope that our conversation truly touches your heart and inspires you, whether you're navigating friendships, motherhood, or simply the ups and downs of life. I want to thank everyone who has liked, subscribed, commented, or engaged with me thus far. When I checked my Instagram the other day, there were 16K people who has either liked, shared, engaged, or, encountered Momversations in some capacity. And for that, like I said, I have to say thank you. I appreciate you guys giving me your trust, giving me the confidence to continue to do this because I know that it can be beneficial for all of us, Motherhood is not easy. It's not easy having to think about yourself, think about your children, think about everything that you have going on in life and still be your best. So I applaud every mom that is in whatever step of your journey, whether it's pregnancy, whether it's you just had your child, you have more than one child, whatever it is, I ask that you give yourself grace. And I want to tell you also that you're doing a great job. Okay, so back to my lovely guest. So without further ado, I want to introduce to some that don't know, to the people that do know, to the people that's going to find out today. She is a lovely, 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 lovely lady, and I'm so excited and honored that you took this invitation. So I'm welcoming Denise.
It's your girl D Nice back in the building.
D Nice if you nasty.
Yeah, don't tell nobody else.
But yeah, I'm so excited that we are having this conversation.
This powwow.
Yes, it's long overdue. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, honestly. And I did want to let you know it's crazy. I was talking to Brayley before you pulled up because, like I told you, I didn't tell her that you were coming. But she said, well, I'll tell you that later because it's going to make me cry. Anyways.
Oh, yeah, don't cry because I cry so bad now.
I did want to tell you this, though. While I was pregnant with Bailey,
Uh-huh.
I had so many dreams about you.
Oh, that's crazy.
Denise, when I tell you.
Was it like the crazy dreams or was it like?
It was, I had a crazy dream, but then I had a peaceful, the rest of them were like smooth. Like, I had a crazy dream, like we was somewhere and it was just like a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I saw you, but I couldn't get to you.
Got you.
The most recent dream, it was crazy to me.
Yeah.
So, while I was pregnant with Bailey, during my dream, we were at a club.
My favorite place.
While we were at the club, I saw you from a distance, and we locked eyes, but that was it. So, you were with your friends going on about your day, and, as were I. And before the night was over, I felt somebody like touch my back. I turned around, it was you. You had your arms out, you asked me for a hug, and you just started boohoo crying.
Aw.
And I, of course, hugged you back, and we just crying in the middle of the club, crying. I'm just like, wow, this is wild. But then after that, I woke up, the dream was over. Fast
Okay.
forward,
Uh-huh.
Malik's player ball.
Oh, yes. It's crazy because while you were saying that, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, I think that happened. I could be wrong, though.
And it was crazy to me then once I texted you that night because I knew that I had a dream about us at a club.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't at a club, but it was a
It was a
club.
club vibe, so it can pass.
So I really feel like, and while I was having them dreams when I was pregnant with her, it gave me some comfort. I'm not gonna lie, because I
Aw.
did think about you. I did
Yeah.
have those moments when I'm like, damn, like, or moments when I'm like, I know if Denise was with me, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. So
Yeah.
the dreams gave me comfort. I didn't try to dig too deep into it because I don't want to be emotional. I was already emotional pregnant,
Yeah.
so yeah.
But I know that that journey for you is different around because I know when we were going through your first pregnancy, it was literally just me, you, and Braylee cooking in the belly.
Yeah.
So I know we were just like two peas in a pot with a little
No
with a little
thing.
rice growing. But when you were pregnant, your last pregnancy, I saw it when you had your baby shower. So cute, by the way.
Thank you.
Shout out to Maria. She did her
She
thing.
does it up every time.
But I had tapped into that because I did have you as a friend on my daughter's page, and I was like, oh my god, I was shocked to see that you guys were having a baby together. I'm not gonna lie, but I was happy, and the only thing that kept coming to my mind was, because again, your first pregnancy was when we were at our closest moments. So the first thing that came to my mind was, I just hope, because I know the history between you and him.
Yeah.
And I just kept telling myself, like, if not him, somebody, I just hope somebody is who I was for her during this pregnancy. Because, like you say all the time during your episodes, like, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. But I know you didn't decide to, build a future with him because you wasn't sure or was unsure or was forced. I know you were confident in knowing that it was going to bring like a family foundation, which I kind of took in and was like, okay, I'm going to trust it too. But I just hope, I was just in my head hoping that you at least had a friend, because sometimes we just need a friend
Yeah.
to fall back on when they acting when them daddies is acting a little crazy.
Hello.
And I just hope you had that. That was the only thing that kept coming through my head. I used to check the page, but you didn't post on Instagram that much. So I just kept checking, like, I just hope she's good. I hope she's happy. But now I know, like, you
I
had that.
wouldn't. I really, and I feel like that's why I didn't have a child then when we weren't in the best place, because I don't think it would have been right. I don't think nobody would have been happy, honestly. And
Yeah.
that's just the real. But
Yeah.
and it was funny too because when I don't know if I followed the page first or if you followed. I think I followed the page first.
And I followed you back.
Yeah, but I was just like, I know she know I'm looking at this.
We was doing the same thing. The energy has not left.
Oh, I love you. Okay, so to start, I want to ask, how are you? How are you feeling today, at both as a mom and an individual?
So let's start as an individual because, like, everybody should know by now. But if you don't know me, I'm a single mom of three. I live in Vegas, pretty much very far away from my family. So as an individual, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard because I want so much for myself. And as selfish as that sounds, I've learned that you gotta have those goals and aspirations,
Yeah.
even as a parent.
Yeah.
But it's hard when you're still trying to provide a lifestyle for your kids that you didn't have, or that you wasn't taught to give to someone else, or even yourself. So it's hard trying to provide that and trying to learn that. And then as a parent, it's hard because we get overstimulated too. It's not just kids. We
It's
get
not.
overstimulated.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really just like I have to really know when I'm overstimulated because my kids don't deserve that. But also, they need to know their place
It's
because
wild.
they will do their big one, and it's not because they understand what's going on with you. It's just because they're so used to you being the fun mom, the friendly mom. They want that all the time,
Yeah.
but not knowing that you can't be that. And then it just be so much when you are a single parent because you don't have nobody to, or you can't tell them like, go to your dad. He'll be the fun that you need right now. Mommy needs a moment.
Or yeah, just to give you a
Mommy
break.
has to say like, look, I need a moment. You got to figure it out. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
And as bad as it sounds, it kind of helps them be more independent.
Yeah.
And it really does help my kids. I can't speak for everybody else's, but it helps my kids lean on each other more. And I tell them all the time, like, I want you guys to do this, not because I want to be selfish, but if something happened to me, y'all know exactly who to lean on,
Yeah.
where your comfort place is,
Yeah.
where you're going to feel free to be you.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm all right.
I'm making it.
I'm making it.
Yeah. Mom life do be hard. And for you to have an older son and younger daughters, I feel like it's a big help too. You know what I mean?
Yes. No,
Because
you are correct.
if it were the other way around, I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be the same, but some little brothers be, you know what I mean? You sit your butt down. You know, the
When we say
dynamic would be
ass,
different. Yeah, sit
your
your
ass
ass.
down.
So it's good that Todd is the older brother.
And
You
that's
know what
my
I
son's
mean?
name, Todd,
Yeah,
if for those who don't know.
he's
And he's amazing. I'm gonna
how old
give
is
him
Todd
his
now?
shout out. He's 14. He will be 15 in January, but I'm gonna give him his shout out. He's the man of the house.
Oh my goodness,
Don't tell him too
he
much.
gonna
His
be
head's
happy.
already big. But yes, he's the man of the house. He runs like the stuff that you would think that a guy that you're with would do. So some nights if I can't cook or if I can't discipline the kids or he knows. Like he'll be like, mommy's sick. Go sit down somewhere. Or
I love it.
she not feeling well. Or what y'all want because mommy doing her homework. She told you because I am in school. So she
Shout out to her being in school.
right. So he will really, put whatever needs to be in place if I can.
That's awesome.
And I love that. And at first, when you have as a woman, I would say for myself, I always wanted a girl first. I did, and I think that's why I gravitated so much to Braylee because she was my first girl.
Yeah.
But having that son first really put things in perspective for me and showed me God gave me what I needed and not what I wanted.
He always does.
And he always does.
You never. We don't know what's best for us, Denise.
We really don't.
We don't. And I said this the last time, if we really
don't.
got to choose the gender of our child, the world would be out of place for one. But two, not like that, but your relationship with your child will probably be upside down, baby.
Out of whack, yep.
Upside down. Not saying that you won't have a girl or a boy eventually, but I wholeheartedly believe God knows what you need the best.
What
like
you
for me
need,
too.
yeah.
For Braylee, I was devastated. I wanted a boy too. I'm like, I want a
'Cause
son.
You
I
have
had
fell in love with Todd, and
the
it's
boy
crazy.
clothes, the dressing them, the
Yeah.
buying the shoes, and I said to this day, I want a son. I do say it.
Everybody deserves one. I'm not gonna lie. Now, because I have one, they're great.
And to see
they're
my
easier.
friends with sons say the same thing. They're easier, they're fun. You know what I mean? With girls, I got to deal with the attitude. I got to deal with the talking back. Eventually, they're going to grow into puberty. They're going to.
That's the scary one. Being that we both kind of have daughters that are at that stage to where they're going to transition into puberty.
Braylee is in 6th grade, Denise.
How? So when I talk to people, I always tell them the first thing, because tonight was my first girl. And she's going to be 9, and I know, right, in February. And I tell people I am so scared to teach her how to, deal with puberty. I'm going to just say that, keep it safe. Because what if she starts at school? Like, we already have our anxiety with our kids being away from us.
Yeah.
Having to deal with kids. Kids are so cruel.
Yes.
Kids are so cruel. And to know that that's something that can happen anywhere at any time. I just feel like no matter how much I prepare her, I don't feel like she's going to be ready. And like, what is something that you can tell me to make me more comfortable because I am fighting these demons.
One thing I can say is get her like a little caboodle type of little bag. That's what
Okay.
I got Braylee. So inside of there, I keep a chapstick, I keep some lotion, I keep hand sanitizer, I keep Lysol wipes, Kleenex, like the little thin pack of Kleenex, and she keeps it in her backpack. Eventually, I'll put a pad in there, but I feel like too, when it's that time for her to start that, she'll be more equipped. I'm gonna just say that.
And you're right.
Since
That's right.
Braylee is 11, when I tell you when her birthday came this year, I just sat and I
My
cried.
girl,
I
she's
cried
she's
because
growing
she's awesome,
up.
and I'm not trying to toot my child's horn, but she is so
You better toot my girl
smart.
horn. What you talking about?
Not like that, but you know how some parents be overly talk. You know, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm not just saying
yeah.
it to say it. I really mean it. So, not to get off what we were talking about, but Corey's cousin Ryan buys her these little puzzles, and they're 14 and up. That's the age on the thing, but
Okay.
you have to put them together piece by piece, Denise. Like none of the
They're
pieces comes
small.
together. They're small pieces.
Oh
They have at
wow,
least like 500 to 600 pieces.
wow.
Some of them, like she has one that you turn and it projects a video on the wall. She has a
Oh, that's
carousel.
really
She has
good.
one that you turn it on, like it came with like a little modem, but you turn it on and swings just start like you know the little swing at the carnival.
Yeah.
But she is so smart. I told her, I said, I have to get you into engineering. I have to get her into something. She uses a different part of her
I
brain.
was just about to say that them puzzles is allowing her to use different parts of her
Yes.
brain.
And I always try to, like, on the weekends, I take her to little workshops or something that would, whatever her love and passion is, I try to help her flourish in
So
that,
has
if
she
that makes
told you
sense.
what like she's into right now, like her obsession right now?
I really just observe.
Observe.
And
Okay.
I'm learning that as your child gets older, of course, we know our kids, but you
Yeah.
really have to observe.
You gotta pay attention.
You got to pay attention.
Especially the older they get. Because
Yeah.
now that I have a teenager that's in high school,
Oh.
it's stressful. But I see what other moms are dealing with, who they know they kids, but they're not tapped in.
Yeah.
They're not tapped in with their kids, and a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just because you're young."
No.
I don't care how old I was. I knew what I needed when I was his age, so I'm providing that on top of just paying attention to him.
Yeah.
That's another form of listening.
Mm-hmm.
I hear him even when he's not speaking.
Hello.
So when we do talk and have to have those difficult conversations,
Yeah.
I know what he needs from me.
Mm-hmm.
And all the time, it's not just me being a mom having a discipline. No, I
Yeah.
need to take a step back and say, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
I
that's
need.
big in your parenting, and I've had to
It's
learn that
so
with Braylee
big.
because everybody know that I don't play that. You not finna. My daughter's not fast.
We was
She's
raised by
not.
our grandmas. That's what.
I'm
Yeah.
not playing that. You not finna.
Hmm.
And a lot of women and a lot of other mothers at her school, when I come up to events or when I come up, she got an award the other day out of the whole school for being
Oh,
trustworthy.
I love that for
When I
her.
tell you, she just makes my heart smile, and especially to think about my mom journey and
Yeah.
how it was in the beginning, and the thoughts that I had, like, what the fuck am I finna be doing? What am I about to do with a baby? A baby?
Yeah.
I'm only 19.
Yeah.
I just started college. My life is just starting to turn
I
up.
told you to get that baby to me. You can do whatever you want.
But for real, Denise, I was
Oh
just
yeah.
to think about the way that I felt when I found out that I was pregnant to now seeing what my child is,
It's
just
becoming,
it makes my
yeah.
heart smile. And I'm so grateful that I didn't do the things that were brought to me to do.
Yeah. No, and I ain't gonna lie. Going back to that moment, you stood 10 toes on knowing that
And I was like, man,
this is my child and she gonna live her life. And I'm gonna make sure she does.
you know what it was with
Could
my
nobody
mom?
deter you from that.
I was, and
And I was like, she's so young and she's so like adamant and strong in knowing what she want as a mother, and she's not even like a full throttle mother right now. I love that.
I didn't even know, Denise. I really know that it was nothing but the grace of God that carried me,
Yeah.
because that was just
Couldn't
such
tell though.
a what. But the moment was when my mom called me and told me what she said. She said, when I found out I was pregnant with you, I was told to do the same thing. You're here. And I just started bawling, crying. I said, oh, no.
And that was what it was with Todd, because you know I got pregnant with Todd when I was 15,
Yeah,
and
we finna get into
I
that too.
held it from my family for a long time. But when I actually got to a point where I had to tell, because I was living with my dad at the time, he had custody of me, and he was the hardest person to tell because you never want to disappoint your father.
Yeah.
Like never. I mean, you don't want to disappoint your parents, but the father is always the
Yeah.
main one you don't want to disappoint
Mhm.
as a girl who was a daddy's girl. So after telling him what I wanted to do with my son, and I've had this conversation with my son. My son knows I did want to abort him.
Mhm.
Um, Once my dad found out, he pretty much confided in his mom, and which is my grandma. I love her to death. I love that lady. I love you, girl. But she came to me. I
Mhm.
remember sitting on the bed. They was having like the whole house was having like an argument about how irresponsible I was, which they were right. They were right. I look back on it, they were right. And even in that moment, I was sitting there saying they're so right. Everything they're saying is so right. My grandma came in the room, closed the door. She sat next to me, and I felt like this was the most vulnerable. She allowed me to be with her and that she was with me, and she was like, "You better not kill my baby. That's my
Oh.
grandbaby." She said, she was like, "I don't care how you feeling, what they're saying out there.
Mm.
Please don't get rid of my baby."
Oh.
And I said, and as selfish as I wanted to say, like, "Girl, I gotta carry this baby." What you talking about? I literally cried and said, like, "Okay." And from that moment on, she was my rock. Like, she stood 10 toes with me. I mean, we had our ups and downs, but still to this day, like, when she told me that was her baby, that's her baby still to this day.
Mhm.
That's her baby.
Todd has always been that baby.
And she and other reasons is a lot of why he's here today and just as amazing as he can be,
Mhm.
you know?
Looking back on your experience as a teenage mom, how do you feel? What do you feel was the biggest challenge you faced, and how did those challenges shape you to who you are today? I really feel like you kind of already just answered that.
So, but I
As
can
I'm
go.
looking at you talking, I'm like, she is answering my question.
So to go more in depth though, being a teenage mom is not easy. I mean, I think the hardest part was having to go back to school
Mhm.
and face everybody
Mhm.
because a lot of like it was either when I went back to school, one boy came up to me and was like, "Ew, who got you pregnant?" And I was just like, "Yo, daddy." But that's the type of attitude you have to have, you know?
Yeah.
Like you have to be strong, you know, because alone you have to deal with kids. Like I said, kids are cruel,
Yeah.
but you also have to deal with the disappointment of your family and them getting to a point to where okay, now we can say we're proud of you,
Yeah.
you know? And it was just a lot of emotions. But I had my auntie. And
Mhm.
as long as you have like one outlet where you know you can just let loose, you can tune in with your pregnancy
Yeah.
and kind of silence everything around you.
Yeah.
Because teenagers alone go through so much from the transition, everything. Like you're figuring out who you are and what you're gonna be
Yeah.
for the rest of your life, and then having a child,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
That's tough.
But when you really allow yourself to tap in with your child
Mhm.
and know exactly like I'm a mother and I'm gonna have to start locking
Doing what I
in,
gotta do. Yeah.
it, it'll fall into place.
And
In prayer, God,
yes,
please,
you gotta
no,
please keep it
yes,
first. I feel
please.
like when you become a mom, it just something just turns on in you.
I say that.
It just turns on.
And mine's happened after I have my kids.
Hmm.
Every time it's something different. It's like I level up in my mental.
Yeah.
Like it's like a level up. Like, oh, I've just gained this mentally.
Mhm.
And it always happens literally right after I give birth.
Since I have two children now, I wholeheartedly believe that because when I had Bailey, like I said in the damn, can't talk. In the other episode, I turned into like mom 2.0.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it was the breastfeeding. I don't know if it was because I'm like, damn, I got two kids. And for me, Braylee was the only child for
A
nine
long
years.
time. Yeah, she
For me to
was.
have just one child for 9 years to having two, that is
Like starting
crazy.
over.
It is.
Like
I was
starting over.
so scared. I didn't know what to expect. Her birth was totally different. I ended up having to get an epidural. I was in a hospital for 4 days.
I can't believe it. Who is she?
And I'm not gonna lie, I was so hard on myself. When the doctor came in and she was like, Destiny, look at you. And it's funny now, but in the moment, I'm like, bitch, shut up. I was swaying back and forth. And I was just like, I can't do it no more. And I heard my body saying like, I'm okay, bitch, I'm getting tired. I was in the hospital for 4 days. I had to get induced. Bailey was about to be 42 weeks. Yes. They called me.
Wow.
My doctor called me. Was like, Destiny, you need to go to the hospital
Yeah.
because she's just not coming.
Yeah. She was
So
comfortable.
they induced me. That didn't work. I was in there for 2 days. Then she came and broke my water, thinking that that would help her come down. That didn't help. The next morning, she comes back and tells me, "You have," and I was 9 centimeters for damn near a whole day. 9 cent. I'm like,
With no epidural?
no, I had epidural by then.
Oh, phew, I was about to say,
No,
girl.
I got an epidural at
Please.
7. Whenever the last breaking point is, the doctor came back in the last time and said, "Okay,
That's
this
always
your
me.
last time.
7.
It's
Yep.
either you get it, cause look at you, or you gonna continue to suffer." So I'm like, shit, just give it to me. But I beat myself up so much because with Brady, I didn't get an
You,
epidural.
you
I thugged it
thug that.
out.
You thug.
How?
Girl, all I remember us walking around that hospital. Next thing you know, we came back. It was time to
It
push.
was time to push, and I think
I
that
still look back
I
and say,
had those same expectations for my second child. It wasn't until I was in that delivery room and everything was going totally different that I'm like, okay, you got to be realistic. Every child is not the same. Every birth is not going to be the same. You did this 9 years ago. It's not like,
yeah,
and I don't know if that makes a difference
it does.
with back to back or years apart,
It does.
but I was so hard on myself. But after I got the epidural, I was okay. But the next morning, she came back in and said, "You have 1 hour to dilate to 10 centimeters, or we're going to take you in to get a C-section." When I say panic, a C-section?
And you couldn't even get up, nothing.
I said, "What am I going to do?" No lie. It was a nurse that came in, and she said, "I want you to sit like this." I was like a pretzel. My legs was crossed. I leaned back, and she said, "Stay like this and do not move." And she left. So the doctor came back in. She was like, "I'm gonna check you." She was like, "Just FYI, I told you blah blah." She checked me and I was 10 centimeters. No lie, I never seen that nurse again. The whole time I was there, creeped me out. Never saw her again. Didn't know her name. Didn't even look at her badge.
Ooh, that's some good
Nothing.
stuff right there.
And when she said you're 10 centimeters, when I say I just broke out in tears because a C-section, I am the pussiest pussy.
Yeah, that's a whole
I don't
different.
like shots. A
That's
C-section?
that's a
It's
whole different
crazy.
vibe.
I was just like, wow. So each child is different. Each pregnancy is different.
It is.
And I feel like the expectations that we have, sometimes we gotta not just be realistic, but sometimes you gotta go with the flow. If your body is doing something different and it didn't do it the last time, it might sound a little cruel, but
No, because with my second pregnancy, I had to get 2 blood transfusions. I don't remember nothing after I had her. All I know is they said like they rushed everybody out the room because I was hemorrhaging. I wouldn't stop bleeding, and I woke up to just like blood being given to me. And as much as I want to remember that whole experience, 'cause that was my first daughter. I wanted a daughter so bad.
yeah,
I was just like, dang, I survived something that I don't even know what happened.
yeah.
I ask people to this day, like, what happened?
That
Were you there? Where did they take me? What they do to me?
damn, yeah, birth is a scary
It's
thing.
scary.
It's
It really is.
scary. It's like an out of body experience for real, for real.
Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Okay. What advice would you give a young mom or a mom that might be struggling with similar experiences? And what do you wish someone would have told you back then?
And similar experiences, you're saying, like, as far as being a mom
Being
at a
a
very
single
young
mom, yeah.
age and being a single mom. So, the advice that I would give would be to take the time out to learn how to love yourself.
That's good.
Because I feel like once I did that, it helped me parent better because I knew when it was time for me to take a step back and deal with what I had going on.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, my kids don't deserve to feel my emotions.
Yeah.
They're happy. They're enjoying life, and that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So as a young mom, I would say if you're going to be a young mom, if you're going through the motions right now, or if you are a young mom, I would say take the time out to learn how to love yourself. You can do it while the baby's sleeping. You can do it while you're pregnant. Take that time out. And then as far as being a single mom, you know, always remember, even if you're in a relationship, but more so when you are a single mom, because we have to carry the weight of two parents, which is the hardest thing in the world that nobody understands. But single parent, I'm not even gonna say a single mom, single parent. If you are a single parent, give yourself grace for one. Don't beat yourself up about what you couldn't do, because again, you're playing two roles in one. But also separate yourself from your kids. Go out. And by that I mean, like, don't go out and go party. You don't have to do that. I do it. But go out and have alone time so you can reflect and get back into parent
Self.
mode.
Yeah.
Reset. Yeah, so you can reset and get back into parent mode, because like I said, we get overstimulated, overwhelmed, but the kids don't deserve to have to feel that. Not all the time do they need to see that. And
Yeah.
sometimes you really just need that break away. And that's easier said than done, because a lot of people don't have that village. Me, I don't have nobody I can call and be like, hey, come get my kids.
Yeah.
Luckily, my son's old enough to be able to watch them, but I really don't have nobody to say, hey, I need a break. I just need a break, you know?
So that brings me to ask you also about co-parenting. How do you navigate relationships with co-parenting, and what advice do you have, if any, for that?
So, advice for co-parenting. It's a hard one. That's a hard one, because I have two baby fathers. So, I have to co-parent with two different personalities. First personality, which is my first baby's father, I don't co-parent with him because my son's old enough to just deal with his parent, that parent by itself. I don't deal with him because I knew that I couldn't. So I took myself out of that and let my son deal with that how he felt was best. Because the first things first, don't take nothing away from your kids because of your own personal feelings. That has nothing to do with the kid. The kids are not involved.
Yeah.
They have every right to love their parent the way they see best. And as they get older,
They'll find
they
out.
will realize how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But with the second one, it took time. Like it took time. Like we went through a lot of DV situations. I mean, it was especially because he's in a relationship with somebody. It was hard because I had to find that peace in myself. I can sit up here and blame them too all I want to, but it wasn't them. I had to find peace within myself, happiness within myself to say, hey, whatever type of father you want to be, I'm going to let you be that. Because I know what type of mother I have to be for my kids, regardless if you pull your weight or not.
Yeah.
And that's the advice that I really want to give, like push out there cold-heartedly. Regardless of who's pulling what, you know your role.
Yeah.
Play it to your best ability. But again, if you're a single parent, take that time out to reset.
Yes.
Because once you reset, you can come back full throttle,
And
back
be
at it
better.
again.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
how I felt when I went on vacation for myself. For my birthday, I went to Miami. I had time to sit, look at the water, cry, pray, you know what I mean? And
Right.
I felt like, until they pissed me off when I got back home, I'm just like, ooh, take me back. But I did come back with a different mindset and a different, feeling towards parenting, because like you said, taking that time to yourself is important. I'm just learning self care. I'm just
Yeah.
learning the need
Self-care.
to pour back into destiny. You know what I mean? I feel like when you pour out so much, your cup slowly but surely starts to, trickle
Yeah.
down. And in some cases, you have to be the one to fill yourself back up if you don't have a partner, or
Right.
sometimes if you do have a partner,
You still do
you still got
sometimes.
to pour back
Yeah.
into yourself at some point.
Because you
So,
know what's enough, you know?
and you don't want to be pouring from an empty cup to your children.
But another thing to really pinpoint to, as a single parent, I can say, take people pleasing out of your life. Take that out of your life. You have to.
Take people pleasing out
Out
of
of
your
your life.
life. I love it.
Because once you take that out of your life, you won't see no pleasing, or you won't see who to please but yourself and your kids. and that alone, people pleasing brings so much stress that people don't understand, and
Or
stress
just
can
comparing
kill you.
yourself. Yeah, it
It can
can.
kill
It's
you.
comparing yourself too, because
Yeah,
it's so easy for us now as a generation to compare ourselves to other women and other moms that we
and
see,
that's
you
the
know.
truth.
Sometimes what you see on Instagram is not the truth. Just
Yeah,
because you see somebody living a fantastic life don't mean everything is fantastic, you know. So you can't always compare yourself because you never know what the
that
other person is
that's the
going through.
pin right there. That's the
You
pin.
never
Right,
know.
and you don't want nobody else's struggles.
Yeah. Your
Just
struggle
remember that you don't
is
want nobody
great.
else's lifestyle.
Yeah. So with balance, how do you balance your role as a mother, as a friend, and as an individual?
I don't. I'm just like- um, I've learned that a schedule is okay.
Mhm.
A schedule is okay, and it's okay to say no.
Ooh.
So, and not just no to my friends, not just no to myself, but no to my kids.
Mhm.
It's okay to tell them no, and it's okay to mean it, stand 10 toes on it. You can have fun another day.
Yeah.
Today we need to stick to this schedule.
Mhm.
We can't deter from this because the moment we do, y'all not gonna feel it,
I
but
am.
them shambles gonna come crashing.
Mhm.
But also, when you have friends that respect those boundaries, the balance is natural.
Mhm.
It's so natural. Like, and it won't even be a no. It'll be like, okay, hey, can we go on? Not today. Let's do it on this day.
Right.
So it's not like a no. It's just a reschedule. Is
Do
what I'm
you think
saying.
there's a difference with having friends that have children or don't have
Most
children?
definitely. But I can say my friend that I'm really close with in Vegas, my best friend, she doesn't have kids. She doesn't have kids, but she respects those boundaries so much, and she loves my kids so much. She knows like, and she loves my parenting to where it's like she knows, hey, I'm gonna let you be on mommy mode. I'm gonna let you do that because I love you in mommy mode. You
Right.
know, so yeah. I hope that answered your question. I might have deterred off.
Yeah. I just asked that because after my episode or my reel that I posted about your friends change when you become a parent, a lot of
Mhm.
people did tap in and say that there is a difference. I did have someone that said like, yeah, I'm not friends with my best friend no longer because she had a baby, and I was just like, oh,
But I think what comes with that is a lot of people, like I can say this, I'm gonna just touch bases on this. When I got pregnant with Todd in high school, you know, me and you weren't best friends.
yeah,
We didn't even know each other. I was best friends with two other people, you know, but I was best friends with them. And like I was best friends with them before I got pregnant. So once I got pregnant, I thought it was gonna carry on.
mhm,
Again, we were young, don't get me wrong.
right,
We were, but once I got pregnant, it was a time where I was just like, what are y'all talking about? Like, we're sitting at a table and I'm just like, I'm lost. Like, what y'all talking about? And they're like, oh, we had hung out this weekend. We just, you know, we're talking about something that happened there. And they finished their conversation. And I'm like, damn, why y'all didn't invite me? They're like, you're pregnant. And that was like a slap in the face. Like, and I can have the words wrong as far as you're pregnant or you're a mom. Slap in the face like, dang, because I'm a mom, I no longer need to get invited to places, or I don't know, no longer need to be included. So I think that's like a big thing too. Like some people really don't know how to be friends with
mhm,
people once they have kids, and that's okay.
yeah,
Like that's not, it shouldn't be forced
yeah,
because you never want to force a relationship with nobody.
yeah,
But it's okay for them to make their own decisions for their life, whether it's with you or not.
yeah,
But what's not okay is the fact that you didn't even give a person
an
or me an
opportunity,
opportunity to show you that we can still maintain this friendship
yeah,
even as a parent or
yeah.
being pregnant.
Yeah, and we weren't friends in high school, but I can remember, you know, even little comments like, "Did you see the girl that's pregnant? Did you see that? You know, she only in ninth grade." Or, you know, so I
Yeah.
can only imagine your mental with having to deal with the judgment of your peers, the judgment of your family, the judgment of shit yourself, because you're thinking
Yeah.
like, "What the hell did I do?" You know.
Right.
So, oof.
It was a lot. You just got to be strong though. Strong.
Um. So I want to ask you and dive into friendship. For
Let's do
those
it.
watching who might be struggling with their friendships or motherhood, what advice would you give them?
I would say, because me and you were covenant friends. We were. And that was something that really allowed our friendship to last as long as it did, and allowed us to rekindle or pick up where we left off whenever, because God was first in our friendship.
Yeah.
And I feel like that plays a big role.
Yes.
And I mean, even if you're a non believer, communication is key. Like, no matter how hard it is, no matter how much, you know, you can't get the words together, write it out before you go and talk about it, the issue, because it's going to be issues. It's a part of life. But as long as you take the time out and say, I'm going to talk to my friend about this, I'm going to communicate with my friend about this, that will allow your friendship to be stronger and last longer.
Yeah.
But it got to be before you go try to talk about it to the next person, because they're not experiencing what you're feeling. And again, they're for you, not for y'all or for them. So
Yeah.
you can go and say, hey, I want to have this conversation. Can you help me with my verbiage?
Right.
But not,
Yeah.
you know?
And while we're talking about it, I do want to apologize for not communicating. I do want to apologize for not being the friend that you needed when you needed,
Yes.
when you knew that I was that friend.
Yeah.
But I wholeheartedly believe that it was because of what I was going through mentally at the time and because of the depression that I was in at the time. And I'm not going to use that as an excuse
But
because
it's the
it's not.
truth.
But
It is the
it
truth.
is. And I didn't know
Because I
how
have front row seats to it. I did.
I didn't know how to negate. I didn't know how to, not separate my relationship and my friendship, but be able to identify the difference of emotion. You know what I mean?
And that's mainly because we both had two different lifestyles. Like, your lifestyle was so different from mine. Like, and I felt like when we became friends, you got to see a different part of life and how people live. And I got to see a totally different part of life and how people live. So it was like an opposites attract type of thing. But it was also, like you said, learning how to navigate through it too.
Yeah.
Being young and not really having the maturity behind it to be able to be where we are today, most definitely. But be like how close we was now today.
It was definitely a journey. It was honestly an opportunity for me to learn me.
Yep.
You know, you saw so much in me, and you would tell me, we know.
Yeah.
But it's so much that you told me that in the moment I couldn't see, and it wasn't until our friendship did separate long term that I'm like, Denise was right. This and this and this, and not to say that I should have listened then, but sometimes you got to learn for yourself. Sometimes you got to go through stuff to be able to really grasp what it is that life is trying to teach you in that
Yeah.
moment. So for a while, I did kind of beat myself up. Like, I really jeopardized somebody that I knew was behind me when I wasn't behind myself. Oof.
Please don't. I'm not gonna look at you because I'm gonna cry. But while you get yourself together, I can apologize too. Okay. I will apologize for expecting more of you when you made it very clear you couldn't give that. You know. And seeing that you couldn't give that and still expecting that of you kind of deterred a lot of things on my end,
Yeah.
and
But that's just because you knew my potential,
and
honestly.
and
you
that's
know?
and that's okay. But how, if I know your potential, then I know what it's going to take for you to get there. And I didn't accept the process, and that's where I'm apologizing for not accepting your process
Oh,
and letting you be able to deal with it the best way you can for your life. Because like we were saying earlier on our way here, what you experience in your journey in life, you're grateful for it because it brought you to who you are today.
definitely.
And me not allowing that of you is where I apologize, because like you said, you needed that, and you did. We all do. And I felt like that's where a lot of my selfishness came in at. Just because I was at a certain place doesn't mean you were supposed to be there with me.
Yeah.
If I'm your friend, I should have saw that. I should have accepted that. Or if I said, "Hey, I want to continue being friends," and that's me saying I'm accepting that, and I didn't.
Right.
You know, so
It's okay. I really feel like the distance was needed on both of our ends.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You flourished and you were already phenomenal, but I see the difference. I know
yeah,
your struggle. I know where you've been, what you've been through, and to see
yeah.
everything that you've accomplished by yourself, and for your kids, I just am so happy for you.
And I'm so happy for you. Look where we at, girl. We on conversation.
Oh, thank you.
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's a big
friendships
deal.
is hard and friendships can be trying, but I feel like the ones that you can talk to and get through to are, your lasting friendships. And
Yeah,
also outside noise, because that was a big thing for
yeah.
us too. I feel like, and don't get me wrong, the
Mm-hmm.
comment that I made was totally not cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with me being your best friend. And like you said, sometimes the friends don't be for y'all, they be
Right.
for you. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I get it. I was not in a good space. We were not in a good space in our friendship, and I wasn't in a good space in my life either.
Right.
But once things did come back together, I saw that letting outside noise come in is very vital. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I felt like I should have been at a point where, like you said, communication. I could have wrote it
Communication.
down. I could have wrote you a letter. We could have, even if it had to be heated conversation. But I don't feel like we were at that maturity to be able to do so.
And that's the thing. We weren't. We were kids. We had a good time, but
Yeah.
we were
Did you see
kids.
that meme that said I was like 16 with $20 and I went everywhere? I was
You
like,
know,
shit.
for real.
What? We was at Wingstop. Wingstop is expensive now. In high school, we were walking get a 10-piece combo for about $7.
Everything's expensive. Inflation. It's all a scam. That touch bases on my podcast,
Oh,
but yeah, it's all a scam.
yikes. Yeah, that's crazy. Life, we really we had a good time. Shout out to King Drew, and they so lit now, and I'm so upset.
I
The
mean,
football,
so
the
let's touch bases on it.
oh
I'm
my
gonna be real.
gosh.
I hated it, and I hated it because, again, like I said, we live two different lifestyles. For me, like I said, when I was pregnant, I didn't have you, so and I'm saying Tiara was my rock when I was pregnant. Like I fell on her once I separated from the other two people that I was really close with. I did. She was my rock. And she didn't have no kids. She wasn't even thinking about it. Nobody was at that time.
Yeah.
But that's when it goes back to say that she's always been that type of person that knew exactly what to say, what was needed. But I also felt like in high school, only reason people accepted me around or allow me to be in certain spaces with them was because I was your friend.
That's deep.
Because once we stopped being friends, nobody communicates with me. Nobody invites me nowhere. Nobody says congratulations. Yes, they do. Let me stop. But it's more so like oh, congrats. It's not like I want to reach out to you to get some advice or I want to. And I've been a mom,
Yeah.
been a mom for a long time. Nobody, once me and you stopped being friends, it was just like, F Denise, we on Destiny's side. And I felt that, but I allowed myself to heal because not only was I healing from lack of friendships and lack of people not being there for me that I thought was really supporting me when they wasn't. I was healing from a loss of a relationship that I thought I was going to be in for the rest of my life. I was learning how to navigate knowing that this is a lifestyle I have to build for myself. And taking those years to heal helped me so much because I know I no longer hold nobody accountable but myself.
I do want to say while
It's
we're talking about it, I never talked ill of you. I never said I might have said fuck her because she got hurt my
I said
feelings.
fuck you
You
too.
know
It's
what I mean?
okay.
But I never anything that we talked about, anything we discussed other than my outlandish little comment.
Mhm.
I've never, you know what I mean? So anybody that you feel might have distanced himself has nothing to do with me.
No, and that's why I said like me taking that time to heal. I'm not saying it because you were going back and telling them that. I think that was just the initial feeling from jump.
Because you
Like we
felt like you
won't
were only there
we
because
won't
of me.
Destiny here. Yeah, for sure. We gonna call her. She got the whip. She fly. She got the
And that's
money.
what I think it was.
She got the money, but damn, she gonna have Denise with her. fuck it, she can come too.
It's not funny. It's not
But
funny.
that's just how I felt because again, when I got pregnant, nobody was inviting me nowhere. And again, we were kids, so of course, the first thing coming to their mind, oh, she got a kid, she can't do nothing.
And I feel like that was a lot of it also. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Being that young, you don't know how to decipher those emotions or those feelings or just not to cast that judgment on somebody. You know
Right.
what I mean? So,
Cause I have no friendships with nobody outside of King Drew. Like everything is the same with everybody. It's copacetic. It's high and by. Like it's not no let's hang out. I don't associate with nobody. Like as far as want to go hang and chill, everybody is the same. I put everybody on the same scale. I respect y'all. You know I want the best for y'all.
yeah.
But I'm not looking for a relationship with nobody, with none of y'all, cause y'all made it very clear what it was from jump. I didn't have nobody, but now I know I didn't need nobody, so
Yeah.
I'm good.
That and that's why I feel like you've blossomed into who you are because you had that time to really tap into
Yeah.
yourself.
I literally moved 4 hours away and separated myself from everybody. And it was so needed. The maturity is crazy.
I
It's
see it.
scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, but it's crazy. But I feel like it's not only did I do it for myself, I did it to help my kids. Because once they get here in life, I want them to know that they need to also give themselves time
Mhm.
to love themselves, honor themselves, self care,
Yeah.
to know that to learn how to be alone. Because when you can learn how to be alone, love yourself alone. I've been single for what 5 years. I ain't had a man come in my house, live in my house, be in my none of that. And I love it. I'm scared to be in a relationship. I'm scared to move forward with somebody like that. And I want my daughters more so to also have that mental strength
Yeah.
to know like I love myself so much. I'm scared to let somebody else in.
Or give me less than.
Yeah, because the person that they do let in will be sent from God
Yeah.
because he the only one that'll have the key to unlock that fear that they have within themselves of letting somebody in.
That's good. Having girls, you really have to shelter them more.
Yeah.
But before we end, do you have anything you want to ask me or anything that you want to say or add to this episode before we close on out?
And it's crazy. I thought about so much stuff. I thought about so much stuff before I came. I don't. I feel like we touched on a lot of good stuff to where I feel like not only do we have a better understanding, those who are watching also have a better understanding how to move forward. Um,
Definitely.
yeah. I just hope you really have, what you need. That's my main thing, like I said before, because I know you and you need it. You
Yes, I
do.
appreciate it.
You
You're
do.
awesome.
No
Like I said
problem.
before, I appreciate you allowing us to have this conversation and to hold this space. It's something that's been long overdue. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's been a friends for the both of you. We'll have a good ride home. But
Yeah.
I want to thank you for sitting with us while we had a great conversation, a great momversation. Continue to like and subscribe and to comment and engage. If you would like to be a guest on Momversations, my DMs are wide open. If you have a topic that you want to discuss, if you have something that you want to say, if you have anything that you feel like Momversations would be a good place or a good seat to come sit in, you're welcome. Um, like I said, I always promise to give you guys great content. I promise to give you authentic conversations. I promise to be your mom bestie. I promise to encourage you because I know that a part of being a mom requires a lot of love and attention and encouragement to just know that you're not alone, that you can do this. And I promise that um, you'll see so much growth, and not just in yourself, but in your children as you continue to mother. So yeah, until next time, bye.
Bye.